World War. The term is very well known. There have been 2 world wars so far. World War I from 1914 to 1918 and World War II from 1939 to 1945. Each one consisted of years of brutal death and war, but with conflicts come solutions. The wars have shaped our world and history, and frankly, without the wars, life today would be very different. So today I'm going to be explaining what would happen if World War I and World War II never happened. The event I chose and narrowed down to be the event that caused the wars is the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. His death caused World War I, which in turn caused World War II. For those who don't know, World War I started in 1914 when Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated. After the attack, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. They were the ones responsible for the murder. Europe was consumed by death and trench warfare, becoming the deadliest war ever at the time, excluding World War II. The fighting went on until 1918, and the U.S. joined the war in 1917. In 1918, Germany surrendered to France and the other allies. Then, in 1919, the Treaty of Versailles was signed. Under this new treaty, Germany had to pay billions of dollars and take the blame of the war. An angered German man named Adolf Hitler, who was angry with the outcome of World War I, came to power with the Nazi Party in 1936. Hitler seized control of many territories without any punishment until he invaded Poland in 1939 and sparked World War II. War broke out in Europe once again. Italy, Germany, and Japan became the Axis powers. They were up against the Allied powers, Great Britain, the Soviet Union, and soon-to-be USA. The USA joined the fighting when on December 7, 1941, Japanese bombers bombed Pearl Harbor. This made the USA join the war. At the same time, in Europe, Hitler started the Holocaust, a horrible plan of murdering every Jew in Europe and keeping the Aryan race superior. Jews were rounded up and sent to concentration camps where they worked to death. Nearly 6 million Jews died. A turning point came on June 6, 1944 on D-Day. This is when U.S. troops stormed the beaches of Normandy. Now with Soviet and American powers closing in on Berlin, fighting got brutal. Berlin was leveled and destroyed when Hitler finally committed suicide on April 30, 1945. Soon after, Germany surrenders on May 7, 1945. But that wasn't it. Japan was still fighting in the Pacific. To end the war, the USA did something that would go down in history. They dropped an atomic bomb. 2 actually. One on Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, and the other on Nagasaki on August 9, 1945. This finally made Japan surrender on the wooden floor of the USS Missouri on September 2, 1945. World War II is over. So that's the basic timeline and event catalog of the wars. Now, what if Archduke Franz Ferdinand was never assassinated? The First World War wouldn't have started in the first place. Immediately, 40 million people would not die. Then we would have to say goodbye to modern-day inventions, like the machine gun, tank, submarine, and Zeppelin. So all that would be gone. But probably the biggest change is that the Treaty of Versailles would have never been signed. As I explained before, this treaty blamed all of World War I on Germany. And also stated before is that this made Hitler pretty angry. Without Hitler, the Nazi Party would have never been formed and invaded Poland. This, stick with me now, prevented World War II. But as stated, war is a time for achievements, including radar, penicillin, and computers. If not for World War II, we wouldn't have computers, literal computers. Also, America wouldn't have dropped the first atomic bomb. The atomic bomb was a huge accomplishment for the world. But then it started the Cold War with Russia. A world without world wars would be a different place. Technology would be decades behind, and life just wouldn't be the same. So as you have learned, as horrible and brutal as the 2 world wars were, they brought a lot of good in the form of inventions and achievements. So as you leave my video presentation, I hope you think about how far we have come since 1914, and think about how without war, we would probably still be in the 1950s. Yikes.